the Austin File. We try to keep you up to date on what's going on within the commercial real estate field. We also try to keep you up to date to what's going on in the market. There's always something going on in Jim Austin's life. But the most important thing, I always try to talk to people that are interesting, that have something to say, and that I think that would help you and make your life better. My name is Jim Austin. You can catch my site, Jim Austin Online. We're having a lot of fun up here in the stockyards at our new recording studios. This is probably about my 15th show. I hope I'm getting better. Send me an email, jima@Jim Austin Online, if you like what you hear. Today we have Keitha Speers from the world famous Billy Bob's. I believe the world's largest club, honky tonk in the world. But good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Happy to be here.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your day to come over and see our new studios.
And I love the setup. It's fantastic.
Thank you. Have a little opportunity to talk. And basically, it's just a general conversation. It's a podcast.
Awesome.
Like we were having a cup of coffee at McDonald's and,
Absolutely.
and talking about what we like and don't like.
Love it.
Of course, there's a lot of things going on in the world. So we'll
Yeah.
try to bring it down to the happenings in the historic Fort Worth stockyards.
That's right.
And one of the biggest icons or establishments in the world and in the stockyards is Billy Bob's.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be celebrating 40 years in the stockyards next April, and so we're in the midst of COVID, also preparing for getting ready to celebrate 4 decades in the stockyards. Billy Bob's opened April 1, 1981. And yeah, we're branded the world's largest honky tonk, 100,000 plus square feet, 6,000 capacity. We've got a restaurant, we've got a gift store, we've got a museum as well. Just moments from honky tonk history from the last 40 years. What's interesting about Billy Bob's is he had seen everyone from, Ringo Starr, Chuck Berry, B.B. King, Tina Turner, to George Strait, Garth Brooks, to new artists like Parker McCollum and Tyler Childers. So it's 40 years of history brings a lot of good music down into the Fort Worth stockyards.
And one of the reasons that we moved here, I've been doing commercial real estate for 40 years next year, so we'll have to do a joint celebration of
anniversary parties.
Anniversary. So 2021's big in my heart, but
Absolutely.
I do commercial real estate, so my real estate firm is up here. Also, my museum, is up here, the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum, because we felt if we're going to be on the planet, what better place to be than the historic stockyards.
Absolutely. Fantastic location.
Yeah, so I encourage you to come by and see me and come by and see Keitha over at Billy Bob's. I went over, was it last week where I came over and had lunch?
Oh yeah, had lunch with us. What did you have at the Honky Tonk Kitchen when you ended up ordering?
I had the burger.
Oh,
The boom burger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good choice.
So,
Good choice.
and reestablished my relationship with Keitha, but also met the chef, Chris.
Yeah, Chris. He's fantastic. What's fantastic about Chris is he's a culinary trained, culinary director. Used to teach food, and so, actually in an academic setting, and so, we're not just slinging bar food in a bar. It's really delicious food. It is very Western, very authentic Western style cuisine, but it's good eating. I'll say that.
Well, I enjoyed myself. I ran into some friends, of course, and it's one of the establishments in the stockyards. So a lot of people don't think about going out to lunch, dinner also.
Yeah, we're open daily, lunch and dinner. Kind of with everything that's been happening, there's been a spotlight on our kitchen, as we've been kind of transferring to what it means to be more of a restaurant than a bar. But fun fact, Billy Bob's has had an eating establishment in the building since we opened in '81, so there's always been a food component, a food offering. And then Chris has been the culinary director at the Honky Tonk Kitchen for, you'll have to check my math, but almost a decade. And so, yeah, we're open daily, lunch, dinner. The exciting thing that we started doing right before back in March, before all of this kind of started going down with COVID, was we started selling desserts. Which is someone who works in the building, that's been a tough thing to avoid, is desserts on the daily basis.
Matter of fact, when we ran into each other, you and your associate were having desserts after I had finished lunch.
Yes, absolutely. I do not miss a time to do a slice of key lime pie, like, pretty regularly. But
oh, don't say that too loud. My wife loves key lime pie.
Oh, you have to get her some. It's very, very good.
You know, so that's what we're talking about on the Austin File, is finding out things that you didn't know, and I'm finding out things I didn't know, and I work in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, but Billy Bob's just reopened back because they've been closed like so many nightclubs, and I know you're excited.
Yeah.
I know I'm excited to have the, movement within the stockyards here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we, fortunately and unfortunately, only had to cancel one concert kind of through all of this, but it happened Friday, March 13th, and then that following Tuesday, I believe, is when the governor issued the stay-at-home order. So we've been, for all intents and purposes, we've been down since March, just about like everyone else. There was a small window of opportunity to open in June, so we were trying to get some stuff up and going, but end of June is when Governor Abbott's kind of sweepingly closed all bars in Texas. But yeah, we were able to, TBC is offering essentially, in a nutshell, a food and beverage certificate that allows us to operate it under food and beverage restaurant guidelines. And there's a lot of things that you have, or criteria that you have to meet. One being that you've got an established kitchen on site, and we again have had that for 40 years, so that was an easy pivot for us, was to go to focus more on food, more so than bar sales. And so yeah, we got the opportunity to open, the 13th, which I was just last week, and did 2 concerts, Friday and Saturday. Did really well. We had, for the most part, the feedback from our guests have been really well, as far as like how they felt safe, and that we were enforcing all of our COVID procedures and protocols and things like that. And so all in all, a pretty successful weekend, considering we hadn't, we were shaking off the cobwebs and hadn't done this in 6 months or so. And yeah, I mean, we're safely, cautiously optimistic that this is a slow turn in the tide for being able to bring just some life back into the stockyards and some normalcy back into the lives of people that live in Fort Worth, our locals, our family, our friends, but also anyone that comes to visit Fort Worth.
And if you didn't know, there's about 3 million folks that come through the stockyards as tourists. So I'm sure since COVID that's slowed down quite a bit, but the herd is restarted up.
Yeah, it feels good to have that back going on pretty regularly.
And if you want to go over and hang out at the Billy Bob's, Keitha has given me some free passes to go over and just tour, play the video games, go to dinner or lunch, but there's a lot of things, like you said, there's a museum there. So when you go over, it's really just a great experience.
It is, yeah, and it's family friendly. We are very much so during the day where we do carry that museum vibe, just because we are so big and we do have so much history running through the walls of that place. And so we actually last Thursday had essentially a 39-year timeline wall installation, or art installation installed in like the VIP entrance of our building. And so it's exciting to have been able to use downtime during COVID to still continue to improve the building, and then also be able to showcase, what we've done in the last 40 years, what really neat, exciting things we've done, and just, not only the importance of Billy Bob's and the honky tonk, or in country music and music in general, but also its role that it has played in the stockyards and what it's meant to this part of the city.
Well, with having a museum and us being closed for, I guess we're going on our 5th month, and we're trying to get back open.
Yeah.
One of the things that I will be doing, because of getting with Keitha, is that we'll be publishing the concerts that are going on at Billy Bob's at my bi-monthly newsletter, and putting it on my website to let folks know, because I don't know, I like country and western music. It's very enjoyable, and they've had some great concerts over there. And I was telling you, That's where I saw Marvin Gaye.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So you're talking about an international showcase. Ringo Starr,
Yeah.
and for sure.
Yeah.
But they have free parking during the day, and they've also got the barbecue. Cooper's.
Yeah.
Right,
Cooper's right across the street, and we're fortunate in the Stockyards to have. Obviously the Honky Tonk Kitchen's fantastic, but there's great food, great shopping all throughout the Stockyard. So it is a fun place to come down and visit. You mentioned loving country western music, but we're also just announced a blues festival. So hopefully we're bringing all kinds of music.
Tell us about it, because there's a lot of blues lovers in North Texas.
Yeah,
so tell us when that's going to be.
So it's Cannonball Blues Fest. We were able to kind of pick up some of the talent after, unfortunately, the Bedford Blues Festival was canceled. We were able to pick up some of the artists to come our way. So it'll be Sunday, September 6th, so Labor Day Sunday. It'll be at Billy Bob's. Doors open at noon. Show starts at 2. We've got Daniel Nicole, Mike Zito, Buddy Whittington. So we've got local, national, regional, national level artists that are going to be a part of this. And our hope is to make it kind of an annual event.
See, you're hearing it right here on Jim Austin Online from Keitha Speers. I thank you, because we are, I used to do network business mixers before COVID. So February, March was my last one when the new chief of police called and said, Jim, I'm not coming. I said, okay. So we decided to stop out. But we just started up our Stockyards Coffee Hour.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, and there it is up on the screen. We've got Janine from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce membership, and our city councilman, Carlos Flores. It's absolutely free. Frost Bank is our sponsor, Spectrum, and Jim Austin Online. But 9 o'clock, tight hour. Tune in if you want to get some more information about marketing during the time of the COVID, and hearing from some people that care about Fort Worth in general. So I encourage you to spread the word and be on that call, because I'm going to tell people about this blues festival again. And if you can make it happen, we can always give a few tickets away on Jim Austin.
I think I might know someone that can help you out there. Yeah,
Jim calls it the hookup.
The hookup.
Yeah. Knowing people in the right places. They got the hookup.
Yes.
So
good people to know, right?
Yeah. So Keith has hooked me up. So make sure you stop by and see us. Go on Jim Austin Online, or you can win tickets, or for sure. But it's been a pleasure talking with you about all that's going on over there. Are you still having the live rodeo? The rodeo?
So unfortunately, right now we're not doing bull riding. We're kind of taking one thing at a time, bringing music back and bringing the restaurant back. It is absolutely on our long-term game plan to get bull riding back, just because it's such a unique thing that we offer. We've got the bull riding arena right there in the club. So look for that returning sometime in November, December. So we're looking forward to get that back, but not quite yet.
Okay.
Yep.
How's Miss Pam Minnick doing?
Pam is fantastic, as always. She, her and Billy were back out at the Bellamy Brothers on opening night, and it's just great, to be able to see them out, reopening the building, that is such a love for them, and for it to be such a successful evening. One of the fun things that Susan Bellamy was telling me about as we were promoting the show is that Bellamy Brothers were on the schedule in the beginning when we first opened in 1981, and then there was the closure in January of 1988 and reopened in November, and Bellamy Brothers played again kind of in that reopening period in 88, and then they were our first show back post-COVID. So Bellamy has been kind of right there with us at opening every time, so to be able to see Pam and Billy out celebrating that was it was really wonderful. Felt good to start to get back to some familiarity there.
Yeah. Pam and Billy are in our Hall of Fame for the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum, along with Hub Baker and Steve Murrin and Red Steagle.
Yeah.
I was very upset to hear that he had to not have his red
Let's
the what's it called
his event that he has every year. So it was his 30th anniversary
Yeah.
too. I think the Red Steve Ball event. So I think it was kind of a blow to the whole stockyards knowing that wasn't going to be happening this year. Unfortunately,
We had to cancel our Hall of Fame,
Did you?
which would have been a month ago.
Yeah.
And I was trying to force it. My wife said, "No, Jim.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's coming out, buddy."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the thing we're seeing is, people, it's just everyone has to make a series of risk calculations and determine what feels right for them and that kind of thing. And, we are seeing people come out, but it's not in the droves that we had before. But, that's what streaming events are for, hoping to still catch those people, too, for entertainment.
Mm-hmm. And I know you probably have a calendar that you sent out.
Yeah.
If you want to give your website, your contact information, and make sure that, if you want to be a Billy Bob's fan
Yeah.
and be kept on the hookup list.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So BillyBobsTexas.com. You can also learn on BillyBobsTexas.com exactly what we're doing and what protocols we have put in place to keep our guests, our staff, and our entertainers safe and healthy through all of this. We do have a lot of those procedures in place. So you can learn about that. You can learn about our concerts coming up. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Best thing to do is sign up for our newsletter because we put something out every week just letting people know what we've got going on, what's coming online, kind of what we're being able to roll back into the fold and that might have been lost during the COVID times. And so good way to keep us connected. And then, as always, I can be found at Keitha at BillyBobsTexas.com.
Keitha. And we talked about that a little bit. I said I didn't know any other Keithas.
Yeah.
And Spears, and she's a proud graduate of University of Texas.
I am. How come?
Nice. Got her degree.
Yes, sir.
And she's very knowledgeable. But she was telling me, give me a 1-minute story how you got that name.
Yeah, so I was supposed to be born a boy, named after a grandfather who unfortunately passed away right before I was born. So they wanted to continue to pay homage to that. Made it feminine, added an A, and so I became Keitha, which is always been an interesting thing. So I'm like, yeah, it's Keith with an A, but when you first hear it, it sounds a little more exotic than that. But it's just Keith with an A.
Sure,
Yeah.
I thought you were a sister when I heard
Oh,
it.
yeah. Yes, I do hear that a lot, yeah, that's a more common name in the Black community, for sure.
Right.
So I think I am. I do surprise a lot of people. I'm like, nope, tall, skinny white girl from Texas.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You're hearing it right here.
Yes, sir.
Good people. She's my new hookup doctor. You might be seeing me with my cowboy hat and my boots over at Billy Bob's,
That's
but
right.
100,000 square feet. It's spread out. Everybody's being tested, temperature.
Yep.
Everybody's asked to wear a mask
Yep.
coming in,
Absolutely.
and that's what you have to do. I mean, because everybody's scared, and
Mm-hmm.
this thing is devastating,
It's no joke,
it's no joke.
Right.
But this is your boy Jim Austin coming to you from the Stockyards Podcast Recording Studios in the historic Stockyards. I have enjoyed talking with you,
Likewise.
Keitha,
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me in. It's
yeah.
a pleasure.
and look forward to tell Chris I'll be back over to the
Yeah.
restaurant.
Go through the whole burger list.
Okay. Yes.
Actually, yeah, stop by next week. We're doing Burger Week with, and
Okay.
we're doing a peanut butter bacon jalapeno burger. PBJ.
Oh,
So come
hell.
on, get adventurous and let's try it
You
out.
know, Billy Bob's is more than a nightclub,
That's
y'all.
right.
You
You
heard
heard
it.
it.
You heard it right here
Yes,
on
sir.
Jim Austin Online. Check us out. We're having fun. It's been a blast talking to you,
Yes.
and I hope my fan base learned something more about one of the assets in the stockyards.
Absolutely.
Okay, and
Thanks again.
tell my friend Pam I said hello.
I will. I'll do that.
Okay, thanks so much. We're
Thanks.
signing off. Thank you.